I said this before, and I'm speaking about energetic abilities in these videos. Now, one thing about energetic abilities is that when you are around toxic people, they will burden you without you being aware of it. Because toxic people, their energy fields are polluted. So when you are around them, that pollution affects your energy field. And this affects how you feel and think. It will also affect your physical body. Listen to me here. There are people who will literally make you physically sick by just being around them, by being exposed to them. I'm telling you, it's true. It's when, not really when, it's after you've been freed from toxic people. It may take a while, maybe a year or two, or in some cases just a few months after you've been freed from them, that you'll notice the danger you've been delivered from. Because here's what you need to understand. As a human being, you are an adaptive creature. Your body adapts. If you go to a country with a lot of sun, you get tanned. If you go to a country where there's almost no sun, well, you tend to lose some pigment. You lose some tan, I mean. So if you go outside and it's very cold, your body gets goosebumps to keep yourself warm. If you go outside, it's quite hot, well, your body responds also. The same you are energetically. When you are in a very negative, bitter climate, your energy field adapts. And this will have an effect on your body too. But after you're not aware, you've adapted. And if you're not careful, you will pick up those bitter, toxic ways unconsciously. You won't do it on purpose, because on purpose you would not do that because you're in your right mind. But unconsciously, you get acclimatized those bitter, toxic ways. On the other hand, if you're around an individual or around people who operate in praise, who are joyful, you will pick up their joyful ways also unconsciously. So the folks that are around you are very important. That's why when worldly coaches tell you to beware who you hang around with, even though they're worldly and they don't follow Christ, they are telling what's true. It's after you've been delivered from toxic people that you will realize the danger you were in. Okay, you want me to give a parable? I'll give a parable. Your name is Nick, okay? In Nick, you had this guy called Derek that you used to hang out with. You worked on the job, you did the same thing. And you were both still in college, finishing your master's degree. One day, this Derek vanishes from you. And you think, okay, you don't want to go after it because you were going through financial difficulties and you didn't want to deal with that also. There was also this chick, Alice, that she used to hang out with. And she disappeared also. And you thought, F that, I'm not going after that. You kept living. 2 years later, you realize that there's a whole change in your life. You wanted to have your own business. You had your own business now. You have an office in Ecuador, and you have an office in South Korea. Normally, when people want to start their own business and they don't have much business experience, they even have difficulty getting one office, or you have 2 offices worldwide. And you have 3 employees working for you. And you have an income around 4,000 a month in euros. And you look back on the past 2 years and you begin to think, what happened? And then you remember, there was this guy called Derek and this chick called Alice. They both disappeared. And you still couldn't figure out why they disappeared. But now you go on Facebook and you Fine. And you go through your messages and you find some of the old conversations you had with those people. And now that you read back those conversations, you are shocked. You become terrified and very uncomfortable when reading those conversations. Because now you see that those people were quite angry, bitter, and they had this fatalistic thinking. Now you realize those people never want to face anything in life. And you reflect back, years before you met those people, you were always an individual that wanted to face things, get things done, and look for long-term solutions. So you began to wonder how you ended up with two people who both didn't want to face things in life, but who were chronic complainers and who dumped their waste energies on others when things got too difficult for them. You were even shocked that you got involved with people like that, and you were more shocked that you didn't realize what type of people they were. Listen, don't blame yourself, Nick. And if you are like this, Nick, don't blame yourself. Doesn't Scripture tell us that Satan masquerades as an angel of light? So he uses disguises to trick you. Well, people who are toxic, and with toxic I mean people who really don't want to face anything in life, always have a will that they don't want to account for. Such people, they act just like Satan does. They don't even have to know Satan exists. They don't have to be inaugurated witches. They don't have to say hail Satan and any of that. Their attitude is just like Satan. They masquerade as who they are not. That Alice masqueraded as this career woman, this career girl that really wanted to go for it. A woman that didn't want to waste her time, especially not waste her time on men that she considered beta men. She gave this impression that she was so successful and that she was so well liked, and she had many attractive female friends also. So a lot of people fell for it, including this Nick. So Nick, even though Nick was not romantically interested in her, Nick thought this individual is a gain for me. She's like a gain to my life. Someone that has ambition, that goes for it, but who's also kind towards others. That was the impression he got. And that other guy, Derek, he was talking about wanting to start his own business in Latin America. He was talking about which country he could move to. So he was talking in ambitious terms, often. So this Nick thought, okay, this is the type of guy I need as a buddy. But in both cases, both individuals were pathological liars. And it was when Nick was praying and praying, when he had that financial difficulty, that he was delivered from those two dangerous people. That Alice, he found out, oh dear, she was absolutely nothing that she pretended to be. She was angry, embittered at her parents. She had no friends at all, just a few female associates. And she was quite uncomfortable around men. She considered, she rather had male friends than female friends. But even the males she wanted to be friends, they didn't want anything to do with her because they thought she wasn't in her right mind. And this Derek, he was only bluffing that he had ambitions. He did that to get attention from others, to feed off of the admiration of others. He was a narcissist. Now, Nick had those two dangerous people around him. He thought he had two jackpots, two people that really contribute to his welfare. The opposite was true. Those two pathological liars, just like Satan, they masqueraded as something great they were not. And they knew what they were doing. It is because Nick got delivered from them that they couldn't go any further with Nick. Because what would they have done with Nick? When Nick would have had his success, he would have opened his business, his offices, they would have come along and they would have ruined Nick's enterprise by bringing all kinds of scandals to it. So it's after you've been delivered from toxic people that you will realize the danger you were in. Because, as I mentioned before, you are an adaptive being. You adapt. And that adaptation happens unconsciously. So when you have toxic individuals come around you often, without you being aware of it, you begin to adapt to their climate. You become acclimatized to them. And when you're acclimatized to them, you don't notice anymore that they're toxic. It's only after being freed from them that you realize, huh? What was that? Imagine the following. You are in a building, and the building has this deep stench in it. Let's say you've been in the building for hours. You don't smell the stench anymore. You're just breathing around. You leave the building. You're outside in fresh air. When you're breathing fresh air, all the toxic air that was in your lungs gets out. So now that you've refreshed with fresh air, you go back into the building. Now you can't even stand being in the building anymore. Now you don't think, oh dear, what kind of stench is this? But here's the thing. You became acclimatized to that stench. You didn't notice it anymore. But the effect was the same. So now you realize that it's quite unhealthy to even be in that building. Look, the people you have around you are important. Because they will either enable or disable your welfare. I'm not saying that they have the last word. Of course, you walk by faith and you overcome. Nevertheless, it will have an impact on you, one way or the other. What I mean is, you walk by faith, you overcome evil with good. Now, toxic people will enable harm towards you. That is what they will do in the long run. So they will enable evil towards you. While people that are willing to be active, in some cases even unbelievers, they will disable evil towards you because they themselves want to be free from evil. But toxic people think that's just the way it is, that's just the way I think. And they expect you to validate their cowardice. And if you don't validate their cowardice, they feel hurt, they're upset. Now they want to take it out on you. Look, some of you will listen to this. What you really need is not an increase in your financial income. Some of you think you need to have a money boost so that you can do things that you want to do. So that you could, some of you think that you need to move to another country. Some of you think a lot of stuff that you think is going to be good for you. But what you really need is to be delivered from some people. There are some people you need to be delivered from. And the reason you need to be delivered from them is because you don't see who they really are. You become acclimatized to them. So now Satan is using them against you without you being aware of it. There are some people you need to lose. It's when they're gone that certain things will go much smoother for you. Things can happen smoothly for you. I'm not saying that when something happens smoothly, that automatically it's smooth success. I mean, it's a trap. Things can happen smoothly for you. But just realize, when toxic people are around, they will make things 5 times more difficult for you than it really is. Sometimes 10 times more difficult. Okay? Agree with Christ and be at peace.